the dotted line. Let Philadelphia freedom ring and patriotic voices sing. Red, white, blue, never give up. You represent America.
Hoping and praying for a brighter day. I listen to my heart and I obey. How can I see it any other way? I'm looking at life with my own eyes.
Here are some exciting scenes from today's episode of Liberty's Kids.
It's ordinary soldiers who are making great sacrifices.
They've only got 5 musket balls apiece and almost no powder. Our men will have to make every shot count.
We are better armed and better trained. We will take both of those hills, Sergeant. Whatever it takes, whatever it costs.
Hold your fire until you see the whites of their eyes! Foolish Americans. Don't they understand what will happen to them? The rebels are building fortifications. They're going to force my hand.
What are your orders, General Howe?
We're going to have to blast them off those hills. I had hoped they'd come to their senses and spare themselves.
You can see all of Boston Harbor from here. The Redcoats won't let us stay here without a fight.
The men have worked all night, General Putnam. If the lobsterbacks try and take Breed's Hill, we'll make them pay a heavy price.
If the men are brave and don't panic. I'd have more confidence if we had stores of ammunition. Colonel Prescott, every shot will have to find its mark.
17 June, 1775. Dearest Mother, I am in a place called Bunker Hill near the city of Boston. I'm glad you cannot hear the terrible sounds. The awful battles of Lexington and Concord are the cause of all this trouble. The colonists seem determined to drive our troops away from Boston. But there's a spark of good news. There's a British officer who might have some knowledge of Father's whereabouts. Oh, I'm hoping to find him and learn what I can. Please do not worry about me, Mother. I am out of harm's way. I am worried about James and Henri. They've gone to interview the rebel militia for Dr. Franklin's Gazette. Still, I can't imagine even they would be reckless enough to get caught up in this. If nothing else, maybe this day will bring us news of Father. I promise to tell.
What have we here? Could we have got ourselves a rebel spy?
Sergeant Wellwright? It is I, Sarah Phillips. I'm a guest at the Essex House.
Yes, of course, Miss Phillips. But this is no place for a British subject. These hills are crawling with rebels.
I am still looking for Lieutenant Hampton.
Ah, yes. The man who served under your father. But it's too dangerous for you to stay here. I'll send Hampton around after we put those rebels in their place.
But
I'll hear no more of this, young lady. I insist. Corporal, escort Miss Phillips home. This will allow you to pass through all checkpoints and rejoin us in battle.
Is there ever a time you're not hungry?
Only when I'm eating.
You expect me to take orders from you? Who made you king?
Colonel Prescott. That's who.
I don't serve under Colonel Prescott. I'm with Captain Parker. One more like that, I'll resort to fisticuffs!
These men are going to fight the British? Looks to me like they'll be fighting each other.
They're nervous and angry. Look, Henri, here we are at the fence at Bunker Hill. About 500 yards away is the fort at Breed's Hill. Here you can see in where the British are. Now come on, we've got to find Dr. Warren and stay away from any fighting.
Who is this Dr. Warren we're looking for?
An old friend of Dr. Franklin's, one of the leaders of the Massachusetts Sons of Liberty. He'll help us get our story.
How will we recognize him?
Sarah and I met him during Paul Revere's ride. He's a wonderful man. You're going to love him. And with you around, I'll be needing a doctor.
So, Corporal, what's your opinion of the rebels?
I have no opinion, ma'am. It's not my place. I just do my duty. Tell me, why are you looking for Lieutenant Hampton?
My father is in the Ohio wilderness, and we've not heard from him. I'm told the lieutenant may have seen him. Corporal, won't you please help me find this man who could lead me to my father?
Afraid not, Miss Phillips. Orders and all.
Oh! Corporal, my locket fell off.
Very well. There. There you are, miss.
Forgive me, Corporal, but I must find my father. Yeah!
Wait! Miss Phillips! Come back!
Dr. Warren!
James, you must leave, son. The British will arrive shortly.
Leave? But the people need to understand what's happening here.
You're right, of course. I admire your courage. Gentlemen, James writes for the Pennsylvania Gazette. He wrote those wonderful stories on Paul Revere's ride and the heroic events at Concord and Lexington.
Very well.
Is this young man a journalist too?
Henri's only interested in finding the best pastry shops.
Well, come along. I'm looking for General Putnam and Colonel Prescott. But Henri must go to Cambridge, away from danger. Agreed?
Agreed.
Agreed.
Halt! State your business.
I'm on a special mission involving a British soldier.
And exactly what mission would you be performing?
This says permit bearer to pass, and that is the seal of Sergeant Wellwright. Do you recognize it? Good. Then tell me your name, soldier, so Sergeant Wellwright will know whom to have court-martialed.
Very well.
I am seeking a Lieutenant Hampton. Do you know him?
He's leading one of the companies that will take Bunker Hill.
Yeah! Phew. I wish James could have seen that. And thank goodness Mother didn't.
This is mad. That's it. Come on, Starkton, we're through here.
You men there, return to your positions.
Sorry, General Putnam, but we haven't had sleep or food. You're not paying us enough for this.
We're not paying you anything. The only payment I can offer you is freedom from the tyranny of the British Parliament.
Praise be! If Dr. Warren is joining the fight, then I'm staying!
Good, we need you.
Dr. Warren, you couldn't have come at a better time to assume command.
I wouldn't dream of assuming command from such an experienced soldier as you. I wish only to serve where I can be most useful.
That, sir, would be where the Redcoats are going to attack first. Breed's Hill. There you can assume command from Colonel Prescott.
General Putnam, I wish no command here. I would consider it a privilege to fight under Colonel Prescott.
Need another volunteer to go fight on the hill with Dr. Warren?
Thank you, soldier.
But Dr. Warren, why would you risk your life as an ordinary soldier?
It's ordinary soldiers who are making great sacrifices. I would be honored to stand alongside these men. Anyone can speak about his beliefs, but it's soldiers who shed their blood to make those beliefs a reality.
Could you slow down? I need to write.
Sorry, lad, no time. But remember, it is your duty to tell the world that we are willing to die for our freedom.
You can count on me, Dr. Warren.
Good man. Now it's time for Henri to go. To Cambridge.
Yes, sir!
Run, go! Run, go!
Ready, men?
The attack is beginning!
Ready! Forward march!
James, stay back here by the fence and away from Breed's Hill.
Be careful, Dr. Warren, please. Why don't they shoot? The British are almost on top of them!
They've only got 5 musket balls apiece, and almost no powder. Our men will have to make every shot count.
Steady, men! Hold your fire until you see the whites of their eyes! I was trained to save lives, not take them.
If you can't fight, we would understand. No one would think you a coward.
I abhor fighting, but believe in the cause of liberty. But for freedom, we must fight. So I shall.
I hate them redcoats.
Try not to let it be about hatred, soldier. There are times when a man has to stand up for his rights, but he never has to hate. Ready?
I can't see a thing. What happened?
Yes, they've retreated.
I am most displeased.
Those ragtags turned us back. Many casualties.
Henri, it is I.
The reinforcements have arrived, sir. More than they can imagine. We are better armed and better trained. We will take both of those hills, Sergeant. Whatever it takes. Whatever it costs.
Did you find the man who knew your father?
He's with the British attacking the hill. Where's James?
Up there, near the fighting.
You heard what he just said? James has to get out of there. Can you find him?
Certainement.
Have your men seal off this side of the hill so the rebels cannot get reinforcements of their own.
Yes, sir.
Here, you may need this. It's a pass you can use to talk your way through any checkpoint.
Won't you need it to find the man you're looking for?
Don't worry about that. Just go. I'm sorry, Father, but I think this is what you would have wanted me to do.
Okay, I'm supposed to be a newspaper writer. So write. Bunker Hill, June 17th. Today, a small, under-equipped band of colonist volunteers defeated the best the British...
James! James!
What are you doing here?
Sarah sent me to warn you. You've got to get out of here. The British are sending more soldiers. Lots more.
No! They're attacking a second time.
Come on, let's get out of here.
No, wait. General Putnam, they brought up artillery.
And more reinforcements. I need volunteers to accompany me to the aid of Colonel Prescott on Breed's Hill.
That would be folly, sir. Our men will be out of powder and gunshot before we could reach them.
You're right, of course.
But Dr. Warren is over there.
I'm sorry, son. He's right. There's nothing to be done. We've got to retreat and save the men we can. Dr. Warren and Prescott will hold out and cover us.
our fire too a little close. Make the most of your ammunition. Then we'll fall back.
Empty!
Sons of Liberty.
Massachusetts, man.
Henri, make sure Sarah gets to safety.
Where are you going?
To find Dr. Warren.
James! Come back, son!
Colonel Prescott!
We lost the hill, James. Ran out of ammunition. One more volley and we'd have stopped him cold.
Have you seen Dr. Warren?
It was chaos up there. Last I saw him, he was covering our retreat. Best you come along with us to the Charlestown Neck. You might find him there.
They're retreating. The hill is ours.
General Gage will want to report.
Tell him it was a dear-bought victory. Another such will ruin us.
General, permission to check on the wounded.
Granted. I'll join you.
Dr. Warren? Has anyone seen Dr. Warren?
He was behind me. Back there.
Thanks.
Nearly half our men dead or wounded. It's a disaster. We might as well have lost the hill.
We won the hill, Sergeant. You'd best remember that.
It's just a hill, sir.
Lieutenant Hampton? Lieutenant Hampton! Corporal?
You can stop looking for my brother. He was killed.
Your brother?
Lieutenant Hampton was my brother.
But you never told me.
You didn't give me a chance. I'm sorry, Miss Phillips, but there will be no help finding your father today.
I'm sorry about your brother, Corporal.
Thank you, Miss Phillips.
Dr. Warren? Dr. Warren! Dr. Warren? Sorry. I thought you were Dr. Warren.
Dr. Warren saved my life. He saved many lives covering our retreat. It was the bravest thing I ever seen. I tried to get his body, but...
Body?
I'm sorry, son.
Dr. Warren? Gone? But how can that be? He was such a good man.
We lost many a good man today.
Then what I will write is that the price of freedom is not cheap.
James, are you all right?
I'm fine, but Dr. Warren's dead.
Oh no! I'm so sorry, James. I know how much you admired him.
And I've got to write that the colonists lost their first real battle with the British. That will weaken our cause, the very cause for which Dr. Warren gave his life.
Maybe the story is not what you think it is.
What do you mean?
What happened at Bunker Hill is in the eye of the beholder. We, the British, sustained hundreds of casualties.
Really?
I was in their camp. They may have taken Bunker Hill, but they feel like they lost. This was a blow.
You were in their camp, looking for the man who knew your father? And?
Killed.
I'm sorry, Sarah. Did Henri find you?
Of course I did. James, who won the battle?
I don't know that anyone did. But our job is to report. So let's get back to Philadelphia.
What's the matter, Henri? I've never seen you throw away food.
After all this, I'm suddenly not so hungry.
Quite a story, you two.
Dr. Warren was quite a man.
He sacrificed so much to help others live.
A lot of people made sacrifices at Bunker Hill.
You can tell Dr. Franklin I'm ready to print. What in blazes could be jamming the works this time? Pastry?
Why are you looking at me?
Dr. Franklin, Moses is ready when you approve our story.
Now let's see. The colonists suffered heavy casualties, but withstood the best the British had to offer, defeated only by a lack of powder. There's only one thing I should like to add. By standing together, the colonial militias prove they have the will to take on the powerful British Army. The name Bunker Hill will be remembered in history as the event that turned a Massachusetts rebellion into America's revolution. The king has lost his colonies.
Dearest Mother, though I am well, my heart is heavy. I regret that my long journey to Boston yielded no word of father. Sadly, the fighting at Bunker Hill resulted in the death of Lieutenant Hampton. Many others died as well, and along with them, I fear any hope for peace also died at Bunker Hill. We must accept that you and I will not be together soon. This will be a long and costly uprising. I remain your loving daughter, Sarah.
Line. Let Philadelphia freedom ring and patriotic voices sing. Red, white, blue, never give up. You represent America.
Hoping and praying for a brighter day. I listen to my heart and I obey. How can I see it any other way? I'm looking at life with my
own eyes. Today on Liberty's Kids.
Washington is the only hero we have. The only man the whole country will support. Otherwise, the revolution will remain New England's war.
You signed on with this army for 6 months' service. However, the enemy is still behind his barricades. He is not going home. But neither are many of your friends. They died in that fight on the hill, Bunker Hill, defending an idea. That idea is freedom.
July 1775. Dearest Mother, this has been the hardest, hottest, bumpiest trip I've ever made. Thank heavens it's almost over. We are 10 days out of Philadelphia and should arrive in Boston any time now. General Washington is to take command of the Continental Army, and Dr. Franklin has assigned James and me to report on it. James is embarked on a great experiment.
How do you know where these birds will go?
They're homing pigeons. The Gazette will get news from the war before any other newspaper. Fly away home, little brother.
He's headed north. I keep telling you, we ought to eat them.
Here we are!
I can't wait to see the army.
I can't wait to eat.
This is an army?
General Washington takes command of colonial forces in Boston. The general has begun to impose discipline on the eager and patriotic but disorganized group of citizen soldiers facing General Howe's formidable British regulars.
I don't know how General Washington will turn this rabble into an army. A more sloppy, disrespectful, bull-headed group this journalist has never seen. But Dr. Franklin, this is supposed to be James's report from the front. What you read is not at all like what he said in his dispatch.
Editor's privilege. Besides, if the army is to become a real army, they'll need money from Congress. And Congress won't give it if they think the army is hopeless.
It was a brave thing to let the kids go along, but I can't help but worry about them.
They'll be fine, Moses. James has the makings of a fine reporter. And Sarah, well, if either of those boys gets out of line, Sarah will put them straight soon enough. Have you spotted any of James's pigeons yet?
I've seen plenty of pigeons, but none of them look like war correspondents.
I told him that the distance might be too great. Just as well he uses the Army gallopers as a precaution.
General Washington has his work cut out for him. He has to strengthen the area around the entire city and somehow whip this bunch of farmers and layabouts into an army.
Present Adams.
Would you say that rations here are low?
I would say rations here are non-existent. We throw together whatever we can find.
I've heard that things will change now that General Washington is in charge.
I've heard there's an island in the South where dogs can talk and wear hats. Do you really work for a newspaper?
Yes, indeed. Dr. Benjamin Franklin's Pennsylvania Gazette.
Pennsylvania? What business is this of theirs?
Dr. Franklin says all the colonies have a common interest in this war.
That's so. Well, I'm just interested in yours truly and his part of this war, which will be over and done with in 52 days.
52? How can you be so sure of that?
That's when my enlistment is up. That's when most of these men will be on their way home.
What if the British are still in Boston?
They're welcome to it as far as I'm concerned. Look, laddie, I'm a storekeeper. Dry goods mostly, some fribbles for the ladies and such. I can't afford to let my business do for itself. And that there's Jeremiah Braddock. He's a farmer. Who's going to bring in his hay and sweet corn if he's stuck down here parading around for Mr. Washington?
What are these children doing here?
Take it easy, Stryker. They're doing no harm. This one says he writes for a newspaper.
Really? And you, Sprout, what are you supposed to be?
I'm not supposed to be anything. I am Henri Richard Maurice Dutrois Lefebvre.
Did you hear that, boys? This tadpole's got a whole laundry list for a name. Can't you read?
Of course. Is there something you would like me to read for you?
You little scamp. Look at him, the big pig farmer from Virginia. Everyone knows nothing good ever came out of the South.
I hope you're as good at fighting redcoats as you are at chasing children.
Dearest Mother, James spends more and more time each day with General Washington's aides, trying to find out and report to Dr. Franklin the Army's plans.
But only as long as the naval guns in the harbor remain silent.
I'm afraid we still don't know if the pigeons are getting through.
I thought Philadelphia was that way. Are you sure these aren't British pigeons?
We only have one doctor. Poor Dr. Marston, for the men here and over at the school. And you know, he's not well himself.
Were these men wounded in the battle at Bunker Hill?
Yes, but most are just sick. It's the fever that takes them mostly. We have no ice.
I wonder what devotion to duty or country would make men go through something like this.
We're fighting for our liberty, young lady. Simple as that.
If these New Englanders don't know how to drill yet, they certainly know how to dig. These hardy colonists know more about building than fighting. They never had an army, but they have carved a nation out of a wilderness. No one knows how long the British will wait before they attack. Or, indeed, why they are waiting at all. We can only be thankful for the time to ready this army.
December 1775. Dearest Mother, we've been in this camp for nearly 5 months. A beautiful autumn has come and gone, as have all the leaves on the trees. Henri stays out most of the day and comes in with a bag full of odds and ends he's collected from the battlefield. He insists there will be a big market for souvenirs of the great battle for Boston. And now, as if he didn't have enough on his shoulders, General Washington has a new worry. The enlistment of half of the men here is up, and many of them are going home. In this freezing cold, General Washington's army is melting away in the face of a dangerous enemy.
Men of New Hampshire, you signed on with this army for 6 months' service. That enlistment is now up, and you want to go home. I cannot blame you for that, and I cannot stop you from going. I'm here to appeal to you to stay. 6 months ago, you and your neighbors stood on that hill, Bunker Hill, and heroically fought off a superior force. The enemy is still behind his barricades, and he is not leaving until we make him do so. He is not going home, but neither are many of your friends and neighbors. They died in that fight on the hill, defending their honor, defending an idea. That idea is freedom. Before you go, I ask you to think about the men you knew and loved who will forever man their post on that hill. Men, this is Colonel Henri Knox, Colonel of the Artillery. There are 56 British cannons waiting for us at Fort Ticonderoga, captured this past May. Knox needs men to move those guns here, to Boston, to bear on the enemy. We need artillery to drive the British from this city. Who will go? The time is past when we think of ourselves as New Hampshire men or Virginians. We are Americans, and we have to stand as one. Are you with me? Aye!
Come in. Here.
Colonel Knox and the promise of his cannon seems to have convinced at least some of the men to stay. Now all they have to do is move them 500 miles over winter mountains. Somehow. Since I was there when the cannons were captured, I'm going back to see how he does it.
Will the pigeons come here or go on to Philadelphia?
Philadelphia, I hope.
Be safe. I'm going to visit with some of the new recruits in from Maine. Want to come along?
No, I've got an assignment of my own.
Promise me you'll introduce me to Dr. Franklin when I make it down to Philadelphia.
That's a promise.
I've read every edition of his Poor Richard's Almanac.
Really?
I used to have a bookshop down in Boston. Ah, here it is. Poor Richard's Almanac. Never failed to find something useful in these pages. Listen to this. If you would not be forgotten as soon as you're dead and rotten, either write things worth the reading or do things worth the writing.
Well then, Colonel, you do the doing and I'll do the writing.
All right, that's enough! This is dreadful! This show opens on Saturday night, and you people will never be ready! General Howe himself will be here, and he's issued a special invitation to General Washington himself to come and bring his own noose! Take it from Reggie's chorus. Reggie! From the top. And for heaven's sake, will you two decide on who's wearing the cow suit?
Yankee Doodle came to Boston, thought he'd beat the Tommies. Got a look at Gage's guns and ran right home to Mommy. Yankee Doodle went to war, Yankee Doodle dandy. Thought the Brits would run away, but he found us too handy.
Hey, you! Get back here!
There he is! You say they plan this entertainment for Saturday night?
Yes, sir. And they expressly invited you to attend.
Well, that is a tempting invitation, isn't it? Perhaps an invitation for us to launch an attack. This is just a quick raid, gentlemen. We don't have enough men for a full attack. Bring back whatever you can carry, especially powder. Let's move out!
The Yankee Doodle came to Boston, thought he'd beat the Tommies.
Sorry to interrupt the entertainment, but it seems General Washington has launched an attack on Bunker Hill.
Come along,
General Washington's captured much-needed supplies in his raid, and let General Howe know that the Americans will attack without warning. James's pigeons have all come here instead of flying to Philadelphia, and I can't get them to leave. James has been gone with Colonel Knox for over a month now. I'm beginning to worry about them. More new recruits are coming in each day, and this army becomes stronger each day. What General Washington has done is nothing short of a miracle. He doesn't say much, but he inspires confidence and obedience by the sheer force of his presence.
What is it? Those weren't there last night.
British leave Boston. Continental Army victorious in siege operation.
It's a great victory, Dr. Franklin.
Yes, and we needed one.
I imagine those redcoats are halfway home by now.
I imagine they're halfway to New York. This war is far from over, but I suppose we should celebrate. At least Boston is free.
Looks like one of James's pigeons. Here you go.
June 28th. We've reached Newark and should be in New York by tomorrow morning.
That dispatch is months old. Where on earth have you been, Bird? Wherever he's been, he's probably ready for a nap.
Dr. Franklin says we should come back to Philadelphia as soon as possible.
What will happen here?
We'll keep a garrison here, but the bulk of the army and new troops from the southern colonies will be gathering in New York.
How long do you think the war will last, Colonel Knox?
I don't know, Sarah, but we have to be ready for as long as it takes. The new flag!
And a new army.
A worthy army. An army we can be proud of.